2024's real estate market ended with increasing home prices and high mortgage rates. But buyers and sellers are curious what this new year has in store. Here with us now for a look at what we can expect in 2025 is mortgage lender and Senior VP of Lending at Rate.com, Jennifer Beeston. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
It's great to have you. So let's look ahead to what to expect this year. You've broken down 3 things you say we should expect from real estate in 2025. The first is about how the market will be for buyers. What do you think?
That's right. Well, so I think buyers need to be prepared for volatile rates. We don't really know exactly how the new administration is going to affect rates yet. So my advice to buyers on rates would be don't max qualify for that mortgage. Make sure you have some wiggle room just in case we do see those fluctuations as we see how the market reacts.
Do you think it'll be a buyer's market or a seller's market in 2025?
That's a great question. And I'm going to say that real estate is more micro than it's ever been. So there's going to be markets where it's a buyer's market, and there's going to be markets where it's still a seller's market. It all comes down to supply. We still have a supply issue in the bulk of the United States.
It's early January. How is this time of year for people who might be on the search for a new home? They want to get into a new house, new apartment in 2025.
I think January is a great time to go shopping. And the reason is you have serious sellers. You usually see people who are trying out the market to see if they can get the most money in spring. So January is a really good time to go out, see what's there, and see what the serious sellers are expecting.
You talked about mortgage rates a minute ago. That's your second item on the list. What are your thoughts for that in 2025?
My gut is that we're going to be in that mid-6 range going up and down with sentiment. That's for conventional mortgage. Government mortgages, VA and FHA are always going to be lower than that. But I think you're going to see a fluctuation of up to 0.5% just given whatever's happening with policy.
So what do you say to those people who are hoping those mortgage rates will fall back down to 4.5 to the 5-point range?
I say they're going to be waiting a long time. And the bottom line is this: if you're looking at buying a house, get qualified with what rates are now and make sure you can afford it with what rates are now. Don't count on rates dropping. There's no guarantee. So you really want to make sure that you can comfortably afford what you're purchasing.
That's actually really good advice. Last on your list is loan options. What should we expect when it comes to that?
I'm actually super excited about that. So I've been a lender for 18 years, and I have to tell you, there are more loan options right now than I've seen in my entire career. So anything from grants for first-time home buyers to more creative underwriting for self-employed borrowers. We've really seen lenders over the last 2 years bring everything they can to help Americans get into homes. So I'm super excited about that.
I love that. I love the optimism. Hopefully that's exactly what rings true in 2025. Is there a loan type you would recommend over others considering what you expect the housing market to be doing in the next 12 months?
There's not a specific loan type I would recommend because it's unique to your individual situation. So for veterans, I'm always going to say, look at your VA benefit. You know, conventional mortgages are great, but FHA may suit you better. So it's down to the unique individual and their financial situation.
You mentioned a moment ago with the new administration, we don't know what to expect yet, but how do you think their policies or the policies will impact real estate?
Ooh, it's impossible to tell, right? Because we're hearing about deregulation, we're hearing about tariffs, we have everybody guessing how that's going to affect the market. But until we see who the people are that actually end up seated in power and what they come up with, I think that's where the volatility we're going to be seeing this year is from.
So Jennifer, with 2025, how do you think it will fare different than the past few years we've seen when it comes to real estate?
I think it's going to be the most normal market that we've had in a long time. Because just a quick history, 2020, 2021, rates were great. Horrible for buyers, though, because the competition was insane. Writing 30 offers, getting denied. 22, rates went from 3% to 6% in a year. Then you had, and the sellers still wanted $1 million for their house, even if it wasn't worth it. And then 23, sellers started to understand rates were going up still. 24, they started to come down, but we had an election. So I feel like 25 is a break. It's a return to just normal basics. I'm hoping for a no drama year.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.